Hey,
All
everybody.
right.
Welcome back to the Insurance Agent Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Craig Gerald. This is the co host.
James Warren. Nice to meet you guys.
And really, our goal is to help insurance agents, navigate the muddy waters of marketing. There's a lot of marketing opportunities out there, a lot of platforms. Our goal is to help you kind of clear that up a little bit and just figure out what direction to go in and focus on. And today we have a special guest here, Francis LoGiudice. I'm saying that right, Francis?
You are. Good job,
Okay,
Greg.
right. It took me a couple months, but I got it down. And Francis is an agent that's been with us for a while, but been an insurance agent a long time, right, Francis? When did you first get your license?
I mean, not really. I mean, 3 years. I mean, I don't know if you call that long or not. Some people
Okay.
have been in business for plus years, but yeah, I've only been in it for 3 years.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. And what you do before insurance?
So I started a litigation support company, ran that for 25 years. Technology just flipped it on its head. So I ended up selling it as a quick print company. So we started it as one thing and sold it as something totally different. And but we made it through 20 some odd years. And
Wow.
then I flipped houses for 3 years and had a really bad third year. So my wife's like, "Hey, what you gonna do?" We still had kids in high school, and what you gonna do now? And so insurance kept popping up. You're searching for things to do, job boards, stuff like that. Um, and so I got my life insurance license and started with what we call a practice company. Um, that I knew there was something better out there, and found the company that I'm currently with, which is Family First Life.
Right on. So you've had quite a bit of experience in the business world. I didn't realize that you
I have, yep.
were 20 years, had your own company, sold it, and then flipped houses.
Yeah, in that third year, when was that your bad year? Was that during 2008?
2019.
Oh, okay, recent. Okay.
So yeah, right before COVID. I got into the insurance business, COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, that made sense.
Yeah.
Like it was the perfect fit really for everything going kind of virtual and selling
Well,
insurance.
I did in home for 2 plus years. All in home, no virtual, and tried a little virtual during when it was really tight in the COVID, probably uh April, maybe May, but then it was April, because then I had just a horrendous month in April. And I'm like, I'm going back in home in person. And sure enough, people would let you come. You'd wear masks, sit outside, or but you still would help people with life insurance, which was pretty awesome, because at that point, in all actuality, not that it was a panic or anything, but people were very aware of their mortality. So
Yeah.
it's probably, was, helped a lot of people get some coverage, and, helped me have a really good year. Um, but I have to say, working with you guys has been a dream. It
Well,
really
that's
has.
we really appreciate that, Francis. Um, yeah, so like you found us, like I guess this was your third year. You found us on your third year,
Yeah.
right? So like
Just did a search. I did a search and found you. So it
prior
works.
prior to like finding us and using our system, like what were some of the things you were doing for marketing, or were you just buying leads or
Buying leads, Facebook final expense leads from every vendor that's out there. And there's a bunch of them. Some good, some not so good. Tried a few companies similar to what you guys do, in a sense. And again, one of them that actually just they had the same back end CRM, if they did what they said they would do, man, it would have been beautiful. I got one lead. The next thing you know, the site didn't exist anymore. You look for them and they're not there. But the dude was still on Facebook. It was the weirdest thing. So I'm like, man, spent like $800 with them and got one lead. And so it makes you really skeptical when you find someone like you guys who are legit, who deliver, on what you say you're going to do. And that's, I mean, like I said, I can't say enough good things about you guys. So,
Well, thanks, man.
Keep asking me questions.
But yeah, that's a big problem in the industry. Like, I mean, I talk to it about with agents quite often. They're so skeptical of, taking a leap with a marketing company because they've been burned so many times. Like same thing you said, like companies will sell you something and then like maybe get a couple leads, then like you can't get in touch with them, they just disappear. It's a thing. Like, I don't know why people would be so shady, because you can't, that's not duplicatable, like word gets out.
Right.
Aren't going to do with that company.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but throughout the 2 years, basically most of the leads that I got, like I said, were Facebook, Final Expense, the CRM that Family First Life has, which are, those are aged leads. You know what I mean? Those aren't the first, you're not the only one getting those leads. And that's why they're so cheap. And then a lot of direct mail. So I was doing a lot of direct mail. It wasn't until the mortgage rates, started going up, that mortgage business just really kept going down as far as the amount of leads coming in. And that's when I was searching for something else. Plus, a good friend of mine, Juan, was having some really good success focusing on one niche, the IULs. And I was the funny thing is I taught Juan how, all about the IUL. First, IUL we did, I ran the illustration for him and all that. And then he just knocks it out the park last year. Well over $1 million in sales, just knocks it out the park. And myself, when I had my business back in the 90s, I bought my first IUL in 98. And it did everything that, IULs do. It allowed me to borrow from it, fund my business with it. I had $2 million of coverage, so I had life insurance, I had living benefits, I was able to borrow from it. It did everything that an IUL does for people, which was awesome. So I was a firm believer. So when I got into life insurance, I didn't really go straight to IULs, even though I sold a bunch of them. I won the trip. Mutual of Omaha had a trip to London. Juan and I both won it, and I did that through selling their IULs, but it was for mortgage protection. It wasn't really focusing on IULs. And so it's a breath of fresh air to kind of focus just on IULs and sort of, leave the Family First Life model, which is a great model. It's what Sean Mike got it started. And we're damn near $1 billion company from that, direct sales, face-to-face, final expense, mortgage protection. But I just love the IUL, that niche, more than the rest of the types of coverage that's out there.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's almost like, I mean, it's a like souped up upgrade compared to like, which can still protect your mortgage compared to just like a term policy.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've always thought that would be a cool idea for agents who were getting mortgage protection leads, but also could sell the IUL. It's like we have like our, VIP level mortgage protection product, or you can like just have a term product to cover your mortgage. And like going in with two options, like we got a cheap option or like, a more expensive option, but it has all these bells and whistles. And, not only is your mortgage protected, but by the time you pay it off, you're going to have a stack of cash that you can pull from in retirement. You can, buy a rental property, a business. Like there's so many things with that product.
Exactly.
And let's talk about your transition from like final expense and mortgage protection into the IUL for a second, because a lot of agents out there, they're working hard, final expense and mortgage protection, just blowing up the phones. And a lot of people want to get to sell to where they can sell the IUL, but it's a little more complicated. It's a longer sales process. What was kind of your experience and, like, I guess, advice for agents who are, focusing on final expense, who want to, like, transition to sell the IUL?
Right. Well, first they need to sign up with, Alpha Agent CRM.
There you go. Yeah.
Because if you don't have a lead coming in, if you don't have a lead coming in, then, you're never going to transition to it. Okay. So it's just like getting leads for final expense. It's just like getting leads for mortgage protection. You don't have enough aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, to sell IULs to, or get referrals from all of them to sell IULs to. So you still, the best solution is to have leads coming in. And so that's first and foremost. And that's where, Juan was knocking it out the park. And you and I had that conversation. He was generating organic, totally free leads. And I was not having that kind of success. And I wasn't on social media, like that. You can tell I'm I'm a 29-year-old. I'm into it. But Facebook to me, I don't really want to be on TikTok or Facebook. Now, yet I am, and I've posted a lot of stuff. However, I've just not generated tons of leads that way. So by finding you guys and having something that you throw a little more money into it for the ads, Google, Facebook, I started at, I don't know, $20 a day or something, up to $100 a day now. And it's just leads are flowing in, but I gradually did that. So again, you've got to have the lead. Somebody's going from final expense, going from, any kind of life insurance product. They have to have the leads for it. And that's where you guys come in.
Totally. Yeah, we can make that happen. But as far as, like, presenting and selling the IUL, did that take some time to transition? Because I have, a lot of agents ask me, they're like, do you have a script or, like, a presentation that I can use? Like, a lot of agents, I think, are just, like, spinning their wheels because they don't really know how to present it. But that.
Right. And so, I mean, my hat's off to, Family First Life. They got started, now granted, we kind of pushed back. No, we're going in home. We're going in home. That's what got us where we are today. We're going in home. Everything was in home. And but then in 2020, end of 21, probably 21, started a few people started really having some success in doing telesales, virtual, that kind of stuff. So, they were putting together PowerPoints on how to present on Zoom, for mortgage protection or for final expense. And so it was really taking that. And again, I got to give credit to Juan Franco, because he put him and a couple of agents he works with put together a PowerPoint. And so he shared that PowerPoint. I took that PowerPoint, adapted it a little bit to me, changed a couple slides to which I felt, made it flow for a good presentation. And so that's what I use, and have created a script from that, because when you bring somebody on and you're onboarding, they need a track to run on. So all my agents that I'm onboarding, and again, we've had this discussion about, getting set up with you guys. You are a part of that onboarding, but they first have to learn it, and they first have to know the script. So I just took one of my presentations where I asked the couple, hey, do you guys mind if I record this for quality purposes? Oh yeah, go ahead. And so on Zoom, we recorded it, and so that's what I share with my agents. And I just basically took the audio from that, turned that into a script, cleaned it up a little bit, made it, sound a little bit better, take some of the ums and ahs and stuff out of it, and made a script, which and then from that also made like a bullet point script, because not everybody's going to say every word that I say. However, if they kind of know what they're supposed to say, then they can put their own personality into it. But it still gives them, you can take somebody who's green, who doesn't know anything about an IUL, teach them all the benefits, and then help them present it. All they're doing is present it to the person. Here's what this can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to that person to say, wow, I really like that. That would help me do this, this, or this. Or, no, that's not really going to do it. I'm doing much better over here in the stock market, or whatever their situation is. IUL is not for everybody, but it's a fantastic tool, and it does a lot of great things for the right person, for the right temperament, really, because it's more of if somebody just is all into crypto and that's what they want that adrenaline, they want that, super, let's go up, and they're willing to take the risk going down or sell it before it goes down. The problem is most people don't, but you have so many people who don't have that knowledge, or just fearful of that. So the IUL is such a safe investment tool that it's, you're just presenting it to the people. I mean, a lot of people that come work with me, well, I'm not a salesperson. You don't have to be a salesperson. We're not selling. These people came to us because of the great ads that you guys put together, with good questions. So they're answering the questions. We know there's high intent there. When we call them up, we're able to schedule those appointments and share with them what the IUL does. Why? Because so many people don't even know what it is.
I know, exactly. I think that's why we get a lot of traction, because people are seeing the videos on TikTok and Instagram about the IUL.
Yeah.
And then they're searching for it, through the search engines, and
they find me.
Yeah, they find Francis here. But yeah, the scripts are huge. I always talk to agents about, just internalizing the scripts, and with the benefits, you just kind of make it your own. Like, I'm sure your experience owning your own IUL, that's had to come up in like sales presentations and stuff, like how you've been able to use it, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. I mean, I share my experience with my clients, and just let them know what I encountered when I had it. The drawback to my experience but it's real life. My business took a downturn, and I cashed it out, paid the taxes on, my gains at that point, but I couldn't keep up the payment. And, I had $190,000 loan on it. They were willing to write me a $13,000 check to go away. Okay. And I had enough losses in my business that year, so it really didn't hurt me as far as tax wise, because they're tax deferred and tax free until you cash them in. Then they're no longer life insurance, and they don't fall under that tax benefit in the tax code. So, but I had so many losses. I mean, I lost a couple $100,000 that year, so it wasn't that big a deal to, have some extra taxes that I owed, because it all got washed away. But it's a drag, because it would be worth, a few $1 million right now. We wouldn't be sitting here talking to each other. I'd be down there with you guys in Costa Rica.
You'd be down here in
a little bit.
I would have ran into you on the beach. Be like, hey man, how'd you get down here?
Either that, or I'd be up in steamboat snowboarding, one or the other.
Well, that's all right. We're getting there sooner rather than later,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, you've been with us since September, and you're probably submitting what, like over 50,000 in annual premium every month or something like that?
Between 30 and 40 right now. I mean, my first few months were a little slow. It's been 50 or so in December. I'm probably a little shy of that in January. But I know I'll be more than that in February, because I just have a couple big ones that I've already written, but they won't pay until February. So
Yeah. And that's important to understand, like for agents thinking about a leads program, any leads program, you kind of have to give it time to get that return. I think a lot of people have the like crypto or TikTok mindset where they're like, man, if I
Instant
drop,
gratification.
$3,000 today, I want to make that money back in 2 weeks, but like,
Right.
you got to follow up with the leads. Like some people need to talk to their spouse or the timing's not right. But once you get it cranking and like those commissions start coming in, like after, month 2 or 3, you just got a cash machine rolling, because of all the work you've done that's
Exactly.
building up to it.
It's the underwriting too that takes time. So, when I bring a new person on, I let them know it's going to be 45 to 60 days before any money hits their bank account. And then that's mostly through underwriting. They're going to make some sales if they follow our system, they follow our script, they have leads coming in. Then, because heck, we started Bill just the other day, and he's already, he set his first appointment. He's got plenty of leads coming in. And that was what, Friday or something of last week, or
Yeah.
that you guys got it up and running. So, he'll most likely, set more appointments. If he doesn't make a sale this week, he'll definitely probably have one next week, and you only need a few sales a week with the IUL because the average sale is much higher than your final expense, your mortgage protection. So it doesn't take a lot to have a really good ROI.
No, that's why I love generating IUL leads, because there's so much more room, for profitability, compared to final expense.
Right.
I mean, people are happy if they do, a 2 or 3x with final expense on the money they spend on the leads, but with the IUL, I mean, you can make 5, 10, even 15 times.
10x plus easily on what I've spent, with you guys and with Google and Facebook.
He's on the 10x Alpha Agent Club. That's we need. That's
right.
A good,
Yeah. I like to turn that to 20x, and it's it's very doable.
Quick question, Francis. So before you joined Alpha Agent, it's before September, right? What was your AP monthly on average?
Mid-20s.
Okay, that's not too bad.
And that was mostly mortgage protection. So I mean, my best month was 39,000 in final expense and mortgage protection. And I've done a little over 50 with the IULs. So, and that's only going to go up. I mean, Juan had knocked it out the park with, a couple 120s, 180, 220. He had some monster months.
Wow. Yeah. And I know he got started on TikTok, but I can already see like, the people who are having results on TikTok or in social media organically, like that's, tough to do in itself. It's a little easier when a platform's newer like TikTok, but I can already see like kind of the organic results getting like saturated. And it's kind of like even one, they've told me that the social media leads, there's not as many as there was in the beginning.
Right.
More people are creating content and it's like just declining because it's coming, saturated. And the platforms, they restrict, the reach and impressions because they want more people. They're like, yeah, they get people addicted in the beginning. Then it's like, oh, you want to reach that many people now? You got to start advertising. And
right.
I can already see the
plateau,
the advertising, and we're probably going to get into TikTok as well. But we haven't had to yet. The search engine.
Right. I mean, I'm super happy with the Google and Facebook, as far as what's coming in and in the quality of the lead. I mean, there's sincere interest. I'm not getting people that are really young or really old. We've got that sweet spot that mid-20s to 40s. I mean, I do get some 50s and 60-year-olds, but they are looking for retirement, 401k alternative. They're just at the end of their 401k.
Yeah.
They should have started that back in their, in their 20s.
But I know there's been some annuity opportunities in the leads as well, right?
Yeah. Found me a $1 million one.
That's what I'm talking about. $1 million annuity.
So they're out there.
What's the commission on that look like for you?
It's high, put it that way. Let's just say that.
Yeah, at 5 to 7%, it's not a bad deal.
Right.
And then as far as building a team, like you just decided to start building a team recently, right?
No, I've been recruiting people for 3 years.
Okay.
And it's really hard to get somebody to work as hard as I've worked, work as hard as the successful people. Yeah, there's a lot of money in life insurance, and life insurance is a great industry, and it's been around for 200 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a fly by night kind of industry. It's not just going away tomorrow. Okay. There is a need there. You're protecting people's families, and there's a huge benefit for your customer. However, you have to grind because of the types of leads. You got to call. You're on the phone. I would be on the phone 12 hours on Monday, and 8 to 10 to 12 hours on Thursday. Monday scheduling Tuesday and Wednesday, and Thursday scheduling Friday, Saturday, and heck, I'd still schedule Sunday just in case, just so I could try to make up on some 0 days or some bad days or something,
Oh.
And I did all right. I mean, my best year, granted, I haven't hit Hall of Fame yet, which is 400,000 in issue paid premium for Family First Life, and 300,000 is the most I've done. That was my best year. So I will smoke that this year,
That's right.
for sure. And just on the trend I've been on since we started working together, it's been just an upward trend. And you know what? I'm not on the phone for 12 hours. We never would have had this podcast because I would have been driving to Lawrenceburg or Manchester to go, do a final expense or mortgage protection call at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, driving home at 10:30, to do it all over again. And so it was a grind. And when you're hiring somebody, when you're trying to, help them out, and people just don't want to work that hard. They want something easy, and nothing good comes easy, and you've got to put some work into it. I guess I could rephrase that. Some things do come easy, or you can still work hard at it, but enjoy life a little bit better. And that's what I'm enjoying about our relationship, because you have allowed me to have a life. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but I worked my butt off the first couple of years in life insurance because my back was against the wall. I have kids in college. They were in high school. I mean, I've got to make the same kind of money I was making, and then some. And I have. Family First Life has been great. The comp plan is just amazing. But now with IUL, it's just really allowed me to live a normal life. Put it that way. I still I'll work on Saturday. I'll work on Sunday. Because like we've got a convention coming up where I'll be off for 5 days, Heck, I wrote 14 grand just over the weekend. So that's going to hit my bank account, in a month or so, whenever it all approves, So, yeah. I mean, it's I didn't, and I helped my wife do stuff, did stuff around the house, helped a buddy. I did normal life stuff. And so that's what's really awesome. I've been really lazy. I'll be honest with you. I probably shouldn't say this on the air, but I have not been calling any leads that come in. I only call the ones that book on my calendar. Okay. So So I'm going to change that so I can really hit the next level. And but in the last couple months, if they didn't schedule on my calendar, I didn't call them. So, you know, um, that just, like I said, and I think if we make that tweak, it's going to even make that number even higher. I'll have even more people schedule on my calendar.
Yeah, put me set for that. No problem.
Yeah, and that it's nice though that you can, like, if you have other stuff going on, like, just work the booked appointments and get to the other leads when you can. It's nice to have that ability instead of having to, grind it out like you have been. But
Or just ring out those leads, before you had to just ring those suckers to get the ROI out of them. And you knocked doors, you knocked on the door if you couldn't get them on the phone, you did everything you could to resolve that lead. And I need to do the same, because if I did that, I'd hit 1 million this year. And that is my goal. So I do need to start doing that.
Yeah. And I think like you said, a lot of agents just want everything given to them. They don't want to put in the time. I mean, I think you definitely put in the time, and like that allows you to value this so much more, like the freedom. Because a lot of agents come on, they haven't experienced that, and they just want to be spoon fed instead of like getting after it and really working the leads. But yeah, I've had agents the same thing. It's like you really just gotta go through it, and like it's like training too, putting in those hours, doing the phone,
right, like a boot camp.
Exactly. Like you earn that, like battle wounds and stuff. I mean, I've done the same thing, going to networking events, like trying to meet people and sit down with them to try to sell them life insurance, like everything you can do just to like get in front of people and try to, have a conversation about if they have enough insurance or not, or the benefits of like permanent life insurance, like the UL. But
yeah.
back to building a team for a second, like was that kind of your goal going into insurance as well from the get-go, or did you feel like you kind of needed to?
No, Family First Life, the great thing about them is you can be an agent. You don't have to build. Okay. But if you want passive income, you've got to build.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like passive income. I mean, my goal when I was getting out of college was retire when I was 45. Well, I'm 57 and I'm not retired yet. So I totally blew that goal. But I would like to retire in the next 3 to 5 years. And that is very doable. And it's even more doable by building an agency, because you're helping people succeed. And by them helping them succeed, they're helping you succeed. It's back to that win-win situation. Nobody works for me. I actually work for them, and it's my job to help them be successful. So that's why you guys are a part of our onboarding, okay? Because they have to have leads coming in order to be successful. And so, looking forward to our, future relationship and growth together, because again, it helps you guys feed your families, helps me, it helps our agents, it helps the people who are looking for the coverage, because they now can find it. They go online, they search it, they see your ads, and they call us up and we help them out. So there's nothing wrong with that, and we get paid for doing that. You get paid for doing that, and the people can grow their IULs to where they can use it for retirement, and so they're getting paid for that. I mean, again, yeah, it's pretty awesome. But growing an agency, so kind of going back to that, it was really tough. I probably hired 100 people in the last couple years, and of that, only a very small handful really got through the trenches and started producing, and so was it my fault, their fault? I don't know, it could be a combination, but it still takes hard work. It still takes right mindset. But you also have to have good leads. And in any lead is a good lead, okay, in a sense. And I do agree with that because I've worked every type of lead out there. Some leads you just have to work harder at. They're still good leads. You just have to find the gold that's in the dirt. You just got to sift through that dirt to get that gold. The beauty of your guys' leads is the gold is just kind of sitting at the top. You just dust off the
Yes,
and
I love that.
and they're right there. It's awesome. I mean, the if you look at quality of leads, dude, been down here and you guys are just up here. I mean, again, the how you either structured the ad or how you structured the questions. Not sure what exactly it is that generates, good high intent leads. But you guys have been able to do that, and I've been super happy with that, and looking forward to growing my agency because now again and also, I don't mind giving a shout out to there's a company that I started working with, Sales Recruiting University, and they have a really good onboarding process that has allowed me to, but it was mainly because of you guys. If I didn't find you guys, that's a huge piece of the puzzle. That is supplying the right leads to somebody so they don't get frustrated and quit. I'm sorry, but final expense leads and even some of the mortgage protection, because they've mailed out 20 of these things, they get 20 calls back about trying to, and you spent $80 on a lead. Heck, I don't think I'm spending but $12, $14 maybe on a lead, and my average sale is way higher than what my mortgage protection was, spending 80, 70, 60, $35 on a lead. So your cost of lead is great, but because I've been able to have success and duplicate that with new agents, it allows me to grow, and they have success also. So that's I have a guy up in New York. His first policy was $9,800 target premium. The second one was like 2,400. Then a small one, and he's only been doing this a couple weeks, so he'll get better. And
that was just from a couple of your old leads that you shared with him, right?
Right, yeah. The ones I didn't call.
Leads. That's so awesome.
Yeah,
yeah. It's
my
like
aged IUL leads.
It's like we got a big kettle brewing over here. It's grandma's secret recipe. You want to come, you got to reach out to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like what you said about us all working together and winning, because like at the I feel like at the core of why we do what we do is to really get the IUL and permanent life insurance into more people's hands. It's almost like we're crusaders through the marketplace, trying to get people in a better financial tool, compared to, things where they're just going to get wrecked on with taxes, like the 401k, for example. I mean, building that thing up for years and years and then pulling it out in retirement, you're taxed on, every bit of that you pull out. It's like the biggest scam.
Yeah, I talked to a guy today. His parents lost $100,000 last year in their IUL and their 401k. I mean, so he's looking at something else, and they've got a bunch of cash, and so they're wanting to do something with it, and just diversify. And is IUL the answer? I don't know, but we'll go through it, see how that works for them. But yeah, helping people get that permanent life insurance that most of them don't even know exists. They just know term and whole life, and that's it.
Yeah, they only know what they've heard from Dave Ramsey or whoever, buy term and invest the difference. But I always tell people, it doesn't matter how much you earn. What matters is how much you keep, and, I mean, I
Right.
experienced it with crypto last year. I mean, I pulled out like 20,000 in crypto. And my taxes on that were like 9,000, like probably, I think it was like, it's like the
Right.
pretty, short-term gains is like 40% almost.
Yeah.
That's insane, and
Yeah, it really is.
they're just, taking money from us right and left. So if we can get people in these better vehicles, like, we're just going to be better as a country, more
Right.
stable. So
Yeah.
it's really cool what you're doing with your team, and us providing the fuel to that fire so that we can just help more people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about. We just get paid well to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah.
um
Yeah.
but yeah, Francis, man, it's been so good to have you on the podcast here. Really good conversation.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we got enough. We provided a lot of value for agents out there, and yeah, I say we can shut it down. But yeah, Francis LoGiudice, everyone, Family First Life, one of our 10X Club members.
There you go.
Yeah, well, 10K Club member, 10K of premium or more a month, but a lot more.
No, it's 10x. It's 10x
10X
from my spin.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry.
Wrong.
yeah.
It's still new, it's still new. 10X Club, where you 10X what you spend with us.
10X.
That's what we're doing.
If you guys can Google my overall marketing budget in a month, I've been 10x in that.
Wow.
I love that. That's that's what I tell
I'll
agents.
do that all day long.
Yeah, that's what I tell agents I'm talking to. I'm like, most of our agents are doing 5 to 15 times what they spend with us, and it's true. I mean, those are, and that's what I want. I want
those are real numbers.
I want agents to be making 10x, because that's something that, like, I think we can both make good money and be excited about. It's like there's so much grind out there with the final expense and mortgage protection, where you're doing good to do like a 2 or 3, like a 4x is incredible,
Right.
And you're grinding, like you said, you're on the phone, you're setting up appointments, you're going to see people, even virtual.
Oh, man, you're grinding. And hey, those people need insurance too. I totally understand it. And there's somebody out there to help them, but it's not going to be
me. Those are the training grounds for everybody the new agents coming on board.
That's right. If they can earn their stripes, then they can come work with us. But
that's right. But if you want to be in the 10X Club, you got to be with Alpha Agent CRM.
That's right. Yeah, I'll second that for sure.
Well, all right, Francis, we really appreciate it. And thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions about, Alpha Agent CRM or our IUL leads, I'm sure there's going to be a link below this video or in the podcast where you can jump on our IUL sales page and just send us your information. We can get in touch. And if you have any questions about Family First Life, you could reach out to Francis. What's your email, Francis?
What's that?
What's your email address?
It's Francis L at fflmiddleamerica.com, which is my agency name.
There you go.
Family First Life Middle America. So Francis L at fflmiddleamerica.com.
Yeah. So if you guys want to know more,
love to help anybody who has interest. Absolutely. And if you're an agent and you want to know about Alpha Agent CRM, about Greg and James. I got all the dirt on them. Call me, to email me. No, just
Just
teasing.
let us know. We can put
But
you.
I'll help you out.
Thanks, Francis. Well, yeah, really enjoyed this podcast, the Insurance Agent Marketing Podcast. And we're going to be doing this more frequently. So we'll see you guys on the next one.